Hi everybody, so I will present our paper, Adaptive Reward-Free Exploration. So I'm Pierre Ménard and this is a joint work with Emily Kaufman, Omar Darwish Dominguez, Anders Johnson, Edouard Laurent and Michel Valco. So we consider the reinforcement learning setting where we model the environment as an MDP. So precisely, given a state A, the agent will take an action and get a reward and observe the next state. So we can measure the quality of an agent in different ways. First way, we can ask the agent to maximize the cumulative reward. So this is equivalent to the regret minimization criteria. Or we can also ask the agent to explore the MDP such that the agent will be able to learn a good policy. So this is a pure exploration setting. Or we can also ask the agent to, most of the time, use a policy which is close to the optimal one. So this is rather the notion of pack MDP. So of course, like the parameters of the MDP, so the transition kernel P and the reward function are not known by the agent. So in particular, we will consider episodic MDP with a fixed horizon H and tabular MDP, so with a finite state space and action space. And so the first parameter of this MDP is the transition kernel. So in particular, this transition kernel could be non-stationary, so it could depend on the step H. And like the second parameter, it's a reward function. So as usual, we define like the value function of a certain policy at the state S and step H as like the expected cumulative sum of reward starting from state S and step H following policy pi. And we define the optimal policy as the one that maximizes the value function at any state. But we will consider like the reward function as a special parameter because usually in practice the transition kernel is fixed, but the reward function could be designed by the user. And in this talk, we will rather try to first learn the transition kernel such that like for any reward function, the agent will be able to predict a policy which is close to the optimal one. So this is the reward-free exploration setting introduced by Jean et al. So the idea is to optimally explore the MDP so that for any reward function, the agent will be able to predict a policy which is close to the optimal one. And in particular, during the exploration of the MDP, the agent will not anymore get a reward nor observe it. So it goes as follows. So for each episode T, the agent selects a policy like to explore the MDP. And with this policy, reward-free episode or trajectory is generated. That is a trajectory without reward. And this reward is this trajectory is added to some database, D of T here. And at some point when like the data are rich enough, the agent could decide to stop. And then we will ask the agent to satisfy a certain constraint, which is like the epsilon delta pack property. That is with high probability, here 1 minus delta. The optimal policy in the empirical MDP. So the empirical MDP, here it's the MDP parameterized by a certain arbitrary reward function and as transition kernel, the one estimated with this database D of tau. So this empirical optimal policy should be close to the optimal policy. So in terms of value functions, that is like we want like the true value function of the empirical optimal policy will be close to the optimal value function. So this is like an epsilon close. This is the inequality in the probably in this event, and we want this to be true for all reward function. And yes, we will fix the initial state. We will consider that it's unique. Okay, so now I will present the reward-free UCL algorithm. So this algorithm is based on the central observation, which is like if we know that like in the empirical, like the value function of any policy for any reward computed in the empirical MDP is close to the one in the true MDP, so with the true transition kernel, then we know that the epsilon delta pack constraint here is satisfied. And like now, to satisfy this observation, what we will do, we will build an upper confidence bound on the estimation error that is independent of the policy and the reward. And then what we will do, we will greedily reduce like this upper confidence bound on the estimation error. So how do we build this upper confidence bound? So we define this quantity E bar. So it's quite natural. It's based on the Hövding inequality. So the first term, so we have a minimum. We clip like this quantity to h because we know that the error is smaller than h. Then the first term in square root of n. This term is like because of the uncertainty of the transition kernel at step h, and then we sum like the next upper confidence bound through the transition kernel p hat, and we take the maximum of the action because we want like this to be true for any policy. So it's very similar to the way we construct upper confidence bound on the optimal Q value for regret minimizer algorithm, like the UCRL algorithm, for example. And we know that on a certain favorable event, where the empirical transition is close to the true one, then we know that E bar will be a true upper confidence bound on the estimation error for all policy pi and reward R. And in particular, this quantity does not depend on R, like the reward. So the algorithm, it's then like easy to define. Like as I said, for the sampling rule, we will pick the policy which is greedy with respect to this upper confidence bound on the error. And for the stopping rule, we have a natural one. We will just stop when the upper confidence bound on the error at the initial state is small enough, because it's easy to see that if this inequality is true, then the central observation I made is also old, and we know that the algorithm will satisfy the epsilon delta pack constraint. And we are able to prove, like with this choice for the exploration function, so the one defined in the here, like in the E bar. Then we can prove that with high probability, this upper confidence bound on the stopping time. That is like the time we need to learn this transition kernel. And in particular, we have that for like the regime where epsilon is small, then we improve of the algorithm proposed by Jin et al. In terms of horizon, and we also improve over another algorithm by Fischer when the confidence level delta is small. So this algorithm by Fischer is in fact a very old algorithm, and our algorithm FUCL is based on this one. But this algorithm is defined for a weaker objective. It's defined for the best policy notification setting, where now the agent have access to the reward function, and the goal is to learn the optimal policy for this reward function. So we can also define an epsilon delta pack constraint for this setting. So and the main thing is that the Fischer algorithm does not use at all the reward. And so like a natural question is like, can we define an epsilon delta pack algorithm for the best policy notification that take into account the reward and improve like the sample complexity? So to this aim, we define a new algorithm like the BPI UCRL algorithm, which is now based on a regret minimizer algorithm. That is like for the sampling rule, we will be greedy with respect to an upper confidence bound on the optimal Q value. So this is possible because now we observe the reward. And for the stopping rule, we will just stop when some confidence interval at the initial state, it's on the optimal value function is small enough. So like this condition. And we can prove that this algorithm is indeed like epsilon delta pack. And we can also like prove a similar sample complexity as reward-free UCRL algorithm. In particular, this algorithm does not match the lower bound. So in terms of like the number of states and the horizon, the lower bound of Dan and Bernstein. But like in practice, this algorithm improves over the RFUCRL algorithm, as we can see on the left. So this is because RFUCRL algorithm, since this it does not know the reward, it does not have access to the reward. It should explore more uniformly, and so it cannot be very aggressive, like in the region where like the optimal trajectory is. And on contrary, BP UCRL algorithm can do that, and so that's why we have an improvement in terms of sample complexity. So in conclusion, we present a new analysis or an adaptation of an old algorithm, which was originally proposed for the base policy notification setting. And we used it, in fact, for the more challenging reward-free exploration setting. And the analysis of algorithm leads to an improved sample complexity over the current algorithm. And in future work, so like a natural question is how to get an optimal algorithm for like the reward-free exploration setting and the base policy notification. When so like for the two regime, when epsilon and is small or delta is small, and we also think it could be interesting to look at the problem dependent regime for the base policy notification, because like for the moment we only provide like minimax bound. So thank you.